Mike, what I noticed is that you have a lot of information with other species, with the non-human entities, some from other planets, maybe some from other dimensions. I'd like to talk to you about first that. Are we talking about interdimensionals? Are we talking about from other planets? How are they actually getting here? From what I understand, you've had contact with these entities, more intimate experiences with these beings than most other people out there.
Yeah, I've made a lot of contacts from other worlds. Another thing altogether, extremely powerful entities are. That's about the only thing I've had in contact with the other dimensions. They're very, very powerful. It takes a lot of power to get through that barrier there. I guess you would say. Um, I do a lot of astral travel, astral projection. Um, my main focus was not from this world. I thought I had gotten everything I could from this world as far as mental abilities, because I wasn't finding anybody that could help with that.
Let me just throw out a soul travel experience that I had, looking into different reincarnations, and that's even that is a little iffy because that's assuming that time is linear and I got to go back, which is not necessarily what it is. I jump into a body that is like out of nowhere. It's not a human body. It's more like an insect, but the size of a human. I think there were four legs on the ground, like arms with like pinchers, like a praying mantis.
I know that place very well. It's actually a time. There's a time thing involved in that, as it's their primal state when they were still young. They're not like that now. Uh, I've noticed the way you find these entities, depending on the type of travel you do. If you're going over the top, you end up going back in their past rather than the current moment.
So it's almost like like you're hitting your location a little too fast or a little too hard, or what? There was a consciousness, like the capability of higher thinking within this creature. Like it could someday find technology, but it wasn't quite there yet. So I was looking at their very primitive.
That very world system. I don't want to say planet, because most of these races involve a lot of planets rather than just one. We're probably the only ones that don't have one, unless they're more primitive than we are right now. They are the insect creatures. I don't know. They seem to have evolved from insect. Uh, Sometimes praying mantises are visualized. Um, Obviously, flies, bees, locusts.
I wonder, is there something about so if the universe finds that a certain pattern works, it tends to repeat that pattern. And so there's something about the humanoid form then.
There are some that I couldn't understand at all. Some that seemed like they had a body of just energy that was held together, and that was their reality. You know, well, I'm talking to them, and that's a real. No, it is real. To them, that is their reality. It's an energy state. Um, there's life form that has evolved in the vacuum of space, and that is not at all humanoid. I only know of one personally, and he is very old.
And I've seen them like almost like whales, but they're deformed whales that are just like whoa, through the abyss, and it's like what the enormous.
Definitely. No, you're definitely on target. That would be one of his primeval forms there. I used to call him a space whale.
What was your first like conscious contact moment?
It was with that particular being, um, and we actually uh, I found this lost soul doing astral travel. I'm searching through the other worlds here and there, and I found this soul that to me at the time seemed like it was lost. It was lonely. It wanted company, and I supplied that. And I spent a lot of times in, I don't know, something that you would call a body swap, a mind meld, maybe, to where you're living by proxy through this other being.
Yeah. So what was it? Like, what was the origin of that soul? Was that the whale?
Right. It wasn't a soul. That was my first.
Okay. Yeah, it was okay. No, so that was interesting because like when Lucifer first appears to me, he appears as a child, like maybe 8-year-old boy. You turn around and he's the black dragon. And you're like, whoa, wait a minute. So sounds like you were having a similar experience.
Definitely, that's definitely it. That's what I was just talking to my wife about. My most important extraterrestrial being, if you want to call it that, and I don't really want to call it that.
Why not?
I don't know. It's labels and all this other he's, hers, it's, all that. There for a while, I had to have secret signs that I could give to the people around me so I could tell them whether it was me or not. You know.
No, that's that. I'll tell you what. That's the you just hit on something that I think a lot of people need to know. When you're hitting black magic, or I mean, and black magic even itself is a label, and it's a label that's going to disappear very soon because it's all just going to be one. There is a singularity, and so. But anyways, when you're hitting it as hard as we are, it gets really crazy, and our loved ones have to live with us, and so. It's good when you've learned something about yourself, how to communicate that to these people to go like, hey, I'm going to here's the place I'm going to. Here's what it's going to do to me. Like we've already seen that. Here's what you can do to support me in that. If you've got your wife there that knows what's going on, it's much better. She's got to freak out sometimes.
No, my wife is very understanding about it. Matter of fact, she's fully aware of the type of connections I have. And she'll even notice, well, you're not doing something the way you usually do it. Is that you?
Mm. This is crazy because this is so. There's this mythology, an urban myth, kind of a pop culture urban myth is of um, the walk-ins or step-ins. These souls that will just jump into people and they'll just take over you and you can feel it happen. And then for a while you're just not you, and then it leaves you and whatever. So you're almost doing that. Like you were doing that from. Were you born with that knowledge of how?
No, it was actually practiced and something that I've worked on. Body swapping. I'm been working on consciously working on that. Shared memories. Um, Actually operating another body. Um,
Uh,
Resisting my body being operated or accepting it. That was actually some of the games me and my friends played. Oh,
so what do you mean? Like actual friends, your playground friends that you or friends that you had,
yeah.
you.
We're gonna say starting after high school, right after high school.
Yeah.
At 19, I had a near-death experience, and that just kind of really opened things up for me.
Did you do the whole tunnel thing?
Actually, no, it was a bright light that kept getting brighter and brighter, and there was like little specks of stars, and then it just all went blank, and I kept the full time I'm just telling myself, go deeper, go deeper, go deeper, go deeper,
Oh.
and it went to a point where, and I had passed out, came to, and I was told that my uncle and my grandfather had a heart attack at that same time.
Mm.
Obviously, we were very closely connected. Maybe it was their incident that triggered it. Maybe not. I don't know what triggered it.
So I've got this theory about something that with reincarnation, there's the clearing of the energy, a flushing of your samsaric self, and I've got this theory that there are those of us that we're packing multiple lifetimes into this one lifetime, and so we have near-death experiences. We have experiences where we lose everything and we have to rebuild. In those moments we are dying and being reborn, and so we're going through a reincarnation cycle. We're just coming back into the same body, but then that body even changes. The way we the way we look, the way we act, the way who we are completely changes after these cycles. Like you did die, you did pass on, and then you were reborn, but you just came back to the same body. So that's interesting.
Well, what actually happened with me is I had come back with a hitchhiker. And it wasn't really a hitchhiker as in somebody else, it was my past life.
Oh wow. So
So I had my past life acting through me as somebody else. You know,
you,
and brought me to a level that I guess I knew at that time, but I didn't know that I knew it now.
wow. So wait, so like a samsaric version of you from a past that thought it thought it was a being, it thought it was you know, your soul hitchhiking. Was this like the most recent reincarnation, or what?
Recent one that's the one that's where that is Ender.
Okay.
Okay, and since he is the first recent one, he also holds the gateway there to the other ones that follow. I've counted 9 on this world.
Okay, break that down a little bit more for me. So first of all, Ender. Tell me about the Ender. The Ender.
Ender was it was 1923 December. He was born 1923 in December. Um, he had a family life on the farm, whatever, blah blah blah. Uh, Sister ended up with a wife. Well, not a wife. They were supposed to be married. 1947. 1947. He was shot in the head. Probably over a stupid card game, I believe it was. Um, that was a private lifetime. I seem to have had a larger purpose, several lifetimes of doing the same thing, and I was tired of doing that. So that was a lifetime that I had hid, and I'd like to believe that I actually had help in transferring from the one prior to that my last one. And that's something I've learned through the occult recently. Um, right, I may have had contact with Crowley. I don't know. Probably close. Whatever.
Yeah. No, that's there's some interesting things when you start getting into. I will have absolute flashes of past lives and get some very specific information, and the like that's enough. Some people love to go to try to track that down, and I feel like you start to put into motion the doubt engine when you do that. Like it's like you start to track down the information, and then you start going, oh, maybe it's not, maybe this is bullshit, and then you start feeding it that you're going to get that back. Have you actually verified anything from that past life, or do you not? Is that not necessary for you?
For the last one, I've tried to track down records for it. John Campbell, born around that time. I found one. Can't verify if that was the same person or not.
Yeah, it doesn't seem. I don't know that, and that's more of like a look when when you have the experience of like a real, I mean, whether we're talking about connecting with these beings, or an evocation where you actually see the being, when it's all over and said and done, you can ask yourself a lot of logical questions to go, well, what was actually happening there? But when you're in the experience, you're just having the experience. Like there's no question about it. And so, yeah, it's I do try to avoid like even really tracking down too much of the information, except for like when I see a word that I've never heard before that a spirit will say, I'll go look it up and go, oh, that's interesting. That actually will lead me down rabbit hole of stuff. So, um, but it is always like I know what they're telling me. I know what I'm receiving, and so I'm going to follow it through to just to see what it means. It's not even like a matter of like I gotta see it to believe it. Like it's already happened. Have you had contact with these beings? All right. Have you had like a saucer over your house, or have you had like a beam of light take you up to the ship or anything?
Um, when I was 4 years old, and of course I was too young to really remember, but I do have memories of it. It's a story that my mother had told me several times about her seeing a UFO and her description of it, and it matches what the vague memory I would have from a 4 year old. Uh, there was a bright yellow craft. Um, that's all I can go on that one.
Yeah.
I also have abduction memories. Uh, one in particular, my jaw was disconnected, brought down, and there was something inserted through my sinus cavity. Like I said, this is just a memory. Maybe it was a dream. Uh, Most excruciating I ever felt. I do have a habit whenever I'm being operated on. Every operation I've ever had, I wake up, regardless of what they use for anesthetic. I end up waking up in the process.
Hmm. And so you've been under like surgical procedure by these creatures or these aliens, and you've woken up from that, like, and been awake in there in on the mothership in
I,
their lab. Oh, dude,
I believe that's what I'm experiencing there.
that's awesome. Like, so in that moment, whew, wait, so are you strapped down, or do you start like squirming and
No, I'm not running. I'm actually strapped, probably strapped down. I can't say for sure whether I was strapped down. Um, the most, what I remember most is just the pain of something going up through my sinus cavity.
Oh yeah. They're in the middle of that. You're not running anywhere. They got you.
The funniest thing about that story is once I learned how to astral travel and connect with uh, other entities, that was a mission for me.
So how did you did you find them?
Yes, yes. And I received a packet of information, I guess you would say, as a apology. And it was a probably the best apology I'd ever received. I've been in the process of many years digging through that packet here and there, trying to figure out some of that information.
Are you recording it? Are you writing it down?
No,
No.
I've never recorded any of that. My wife is the only one I've ever talked to about this.
So it does seem like you said, unfortunately we weren't recording, but at the moment, but you said that we are in a what did you call it, a conjunction, what was the word you used? basically that our part of the universe, where we're at in space time, is a crossroads of sorts.
No, we're at a hot spot. Definitely a hot spot. Um, I'm under the impression that Earth itself may be a like you know how they say over in Iraq and Iran, that's the cradle of life. That's where it all started.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that may apply to the whole planet. Okay,
Hmm.
you've got Atlanteans, and there's supposed to be 5 other races that evolved here before them.
A race of beings that are going around planting the seeds of and it is similar genes that are going to adapt in that environment. They just basically drop it off.
Yes, exactly. I mean, that is exactly what started most of these worlds. Um,
But Gaia is indeed the mother of these seed offspring.
right. That is what I am understood to believe at the moment. Yes.
What's going on with the pyramids?
Well, I don't know. I'd like them to dig up under that Sphinx, though.
Yeah, right. Oh
Right
yeah.
there's
I,
there.
I mean, at this point, they've done like radiometric pulsing or whatever, but they've done scans of it. They see that there is a chamber underneath there. So I don't know why. Like, get on it, guys. And here's the thing with it is, I think when we're looking at the when we're looking at the pyramids, it's like looking at a computer, looking at my laptop if there wasn't any power, and trying to figure out what it is.
Right.
Um,
Oh no, you're onto something there because that's exactly what I think was going on. Is uh, they were channeling this information, like these packets of information that I was talking about, and they were trying to build it, and they had no idea what they were building. Maybe they did have an idea what they were building, and they succeeded handling this information, and they're really kind of building a circuit board in a sense, a power grid.
that's an interesting idea, though, is that it's not that it is that information that they're receiving as downloads, and different pharaohs. Because it's interesting. You have the Great Pyramid, and that took multiple generations to build. It would have had to, and so that means that it was being there was a vision for it there was a vision that was compelling enough to last for multiple generations. That's cool. Um, all the other pyramids, like they're basically they're poor copies. Like the Great Pyramid is perfect in every way that it should be, and all the others are just slightly off. Like it's like they were trying to mimic it and weren't able to. So we see the same thing in Göbekli Tepe. That each level you go down is a generation, and the work gets sloppier and sloppier over time. It's like a degradation of skill. What makes it a hotspot, and what does that actually mean?
Right. I don't really understand why we're a hotspot, other than the fact that we're at a crossroads where either we evolve and become part of a bigger system, or we're probably not going to make
This moment in time is very, very important. It sounds like a lot of the contact that you've had with these entities has been in a soul travel state. Um, are they coming here? Physically, are there ships here? Are they living amongst us?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
oh yeah, they are definitely living amongst us. The biggest groups that are living amongst us is the Pleiadians, and anybody familiar with Lucifer's energy who has made contact with Lucifer and has made contact with a Pleiadian, they would understand where I'm coming from on that.
Yeah, no, that's It's interesting. There are multiple species with battleships poised all over our solar system, and they've taken over moons on different planets. Is that my imagination?
Draconians do have ships based here pretty close. I haven't personally checked recently for any Enochian. Um, really, the only ones that I could say definitely have ships close are the Draconians. I seem to have a close bond with them. Considering after when I go back in my past lives, I'm a Draconian starseed.
Are we going to have physical contact with these beings on a wide scale soon?
My first response, I want to say yes, but I honestly don't know if somebody at my level or your level or the guy next door will daily contact or physical contact with any of them. There's a whole institution set up on the moon. Seriously, conspiracy theories, whatever. That is where they're doing it. That is where they're gonna raise. I don't want to say build. That is where they're gonna raise AI. Okay. Yeah, we have it here now, but when they raise it on the moon,
it's isolated.
It's isolated. Exactly. There's no laws governing it. There's no nations fighting over it. You can basically do anything you want. One of the biggest things is genetic manipulation.
When you're combining the organic with the machine, I think that's going to be essential, specifically in how we survive. So that's the real thing. Is like we're not going to be intermarrying and interbreeding with the people from Venus. We're going to be interconnecting with technology, with the AI. The AI is the alien that we're going to be uniting with.
That is definitely true. And yeah, that's the point. Is the biological engineering needs to be completed is what they need to work on the most, because that's going to bring the AI system to a human level rather than us going down to a technical level. Because at that point, technology is a downgrade.
If you've got to put yourself into a metal machine, life expansion. Like I mean, immortality sounds like a good idea at first, but I do think that there ought to be an opt out button at some point. Like,
if we ever die, you ever really think about that? Our entire structure society would have to change, literally. You put a money into your Social Security for or 30 years or whatever, but you live for 500. That's not, you got 400 years there that you're retired. That structure wouldn't work.
No. That would work for a very small group of people. So for what do we need to do first as a species, like species wise? What do we need to know, and what do we need to do to become part of this intergalactic thing? They've got to develop the AI. I mean, on an individual level, what do we need? What can we do as individuals to put our energy and our work into like doing something for this?
Well, I was just about to go there because, well, the reason why I post the things I do is I'm deliberately feeding the internet the information I want it to receive. And I think that we as magicians, mages, whatever, need to supply that information into the system. We need to supply what we need it to be.
Putting something in an app on a daily basis, you're going to your Facebook, or you're going to. I'm actually going to create an app that I'll be putting out with PowerShift program that I'm going to release. 90 days, any transformation you want to make in your life, you're gonna make it. I'll tell you, whatever you want to become within 90 days, we'll get you there. And part of that is every day logging your activities, your habits. Did you do something to expand that day? Did you go deeper on some level? Did you somehow go further? Like in just a little bit, just 1%, just a 1% progress every day. But have it actually be measurable. That there are multiple categories that you're logging, and what you're doing then, and then that connects to all the other people who are in this organization, so they can all see how you're doing. You can see, so it's an accountability system. Then it becomes a competition. Like you see that somebody's slacking, and you can hit them up and be like, "Hey, dude, are you doing all right? Like, what, I see you haven't a single ritual this week. Like, what's going on?" And so there is the ability to come together and help each other as a group. That's going to be part of it. It's going to be feeding the AI, but it's going to be teaching the AI a lot about who we can be. You're actually programming yourself on a cellular level to be different by what you're logging on your Facebook, like, or what you're logging in your app. This first wave of this storm that we're going through with this viruses and the lockdown and everything. I think we've all developed a really close connection with our phones. Like it's amazing.
There are some very dangerous ones, and actually, out of the ones that I have visited, and the ones that have brought me the most fearful revolutions, maybe even experiencing near deaths, I have put marks on them, astral marks. Anybody trying to reach them on that same frequency would flash. I don't know how to explain that. I seem to be able to do marks like that really easily.
Okay, so if I just hit the soul travel state, chatting with you, and absolutely nobody hit this dude up just to get more information.
If we find out that people are interested in crap that I've been talking about, I will definitely get a hold of you, and we would hook something up.
If you guys, as the audience, have found this conversation to be interesting, first thing I'm gonna say, I'll give you some homework. Like, if it doesn't already exist, go like not you, but the audience, or you, or whatever. Go start something on the forum. Go start a thread on the forum about this conversation. Get a conversation going about this conversation. Turn this back over to the Black Magicians, and if you guys want more of Mike, then make that happen, and I'll help you do it. Thank you. You have a good one.
Yeah, thank you.